G'day, Heath here from pickandlessons.com. Old Joe Clark on the 5-string in a melodic style. This is a great tune, and in this melodic style, it's a great way of approaching it. We have two sections to the tune. Here in this video, we're going to have a look at part A in a moment, but if you head to pickandlessons.com, you'll grab yourself a copy of the tab. We'll also break down there in the member section the second half of this tune, and we'll look at that B section in a lesson. You'll also have a play along and backing track there to help you along. Now let's have a look at part A here. We're in standard tuning, but we are capoed up to fret 2 as this tune is played in A. So standard tuning, spike string 5 there to the A note, so fret 7, but otherwise we're in standard tuning. Now we are in a melodic style, so there's a lot of movement. We're spending a lot of time out of this melodic position of the scale, so the A scale, open G. Yeah, there is an F in there. That's part of the melody. So this tune is modal, yeah? We have that flat 7th chord in there as well. So that's going to use the F note. So let's have a bit of a look at what's going on. There's a lot of back and forth with the scale. So let's just check out what's happening. So this opening section, let's just work on that opening phrase there. So you can see that F note in there, so that Mixolydian scale note, the F rather than the F sharp, which would sound like this. Just changing that F to an F sharp to the standard major scale sounds very different. So it is from that 5th mode, so the Mixolydian mode, and it is the F note relative to the capo. So what we want to do is just treat this position with our left hand, so this opening position here, we're not going to be moving around. We want our 3rd finger on that 5th fret on from the capo, the C, and then the E, and then the F with our 1st finger. And so in this melodic style, the lower string we play is with our thumb, and the highest string we play with a finger, depending on which string, index or middle. So this opening passage here for the right hand, it's the finger, then the thumb, then the middle, then the thumb, then the middle, and the thumb. And you can see that back and forth that's happening. Thumb, middle finger, thumb, and so on. So when there's a higher string, like in the first measure, that open string is finger, back to the thumb. 2nd beat is finger, back to the thumb. 3rd beat, finger to the thumb. And so you can see this back and forth. It's all in the tablature. So if you're unfamiliar with this approach, check it out, just watch those fingers. But once you get them in the right order, in the right structure, it becomes quite straightforward to play. Just the left hand briefly, our 3rd finger there, and our 3rd finger and our 1st. And again, it's all in the tablature, so you can check that out. So let's just roll this opening phrase a couple of times just to get a handle on it. So from the pickup, 4th beat in, and then away we go with 8th note. So 3, 4, and 1. Up to the 3rd beat there in measure 2. You can limit how much you move your left hand. So opening section, that 3rd finger can stay there, and we get this overlap of notes, which is kind of cool. So that doesn't have to move a lot. When we change to the next part of the melody, we can hold our 3rd and 1st fingers in there. So our left hand, if we limit its movement, it becomes less complicated to play. So again, watching the left hand, minimal movement, finger, thumb, finger, thumb, finger, that alternating between those notes that we find on those adjacent strings. So there's our opening phrase. Part A has a lot of this similar movement happening in the other phrases. So if we pick it up from the end of measure 2, so the 4th beat, we have a similar idea. 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 4th bar. Yeah, so very similar movement, very similar movement. So once you're kind of okay with that position we're working in, so our opening position, yeah, that little Mixolydian scale, it's going to be quite straightforward to play. We'll run through all this again in a moment. If we keep going, measure 5, it's like the beginning. Pick up, 3, 4, 1. Same positions, back and forth with finger and thumb. But this time we run down. So there's a note out of that position. We're going to go across to the A at fret 7 there on string 4. So shift your hand across. You can just use that 3rd finger again. We're going to stay there. Now measure 7 and measure 8 before we hit the repeat. Measure 7, we're going to stay on that 3rd finger, 7th fret, and we've got this roll. Essentially a forward roll that we play there, starting on string 2. Thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, shift position. End of this measure, 3rd finger to 4th fret, 1st finger on 2nd fret. And we're going to pull off that A into the G, open G. So measure 7, rolling, shift position, and pull off to beat 1 of measure 8. And as we do that, we then come back down onto the 4th fret with our thumb and to finish it off. So 7 and 8 just played through, ready, and. That closes our phrase out. Now, we'll go back through part A here in a moment, but pretty much we have some similar ideas through the phrases and our position here, that mixolydian position of the melodic style scale, and then that A note across there as well, and shifting into the open position for the lower F sharp as well. Left hand and right hand is all in the tablature, so you can check that out, but let's just have a slow playthrough just to finish up here. So from that pickup, count 4, 2, 3, 4. Minimal left hand movement. Watch the quarter notes. Shift position, hold that. Rolling, shift. At that point there we have our repeat. We'll go back and do it for a second time. Second ending through leads us on to part B, so that is different. But there we have this melodic style Old J Clark, this back and forth around the basic melody. So it works great in this melodic style. We get to kind of prop with our left hand, which works really well. The melodic back and forth between the thumb and the fingers is quite okay to play up at a faster tempo. So that's kind of cool. Get to know that first, but pickandlessons.com, we are going to break down part B in the members section there. We'll break down that lesson, have a look at that. You'll have a playing along and backing track there as well, but you can grab the tablature while you're there. So pickandlessons.com, I'll see you there.